And now let's prepare for meditation.
When I think of everyone who's tried to help me, well, it makes me wish that I could find a way to pay them back for all the little acts of kindness that helped me find my way when I was falling from the track. But a grateful man's intentions make him worth his weight in gold. If he can pass it to the next one he finds lost out in the cold. Pass it on, brother, pass it on. If you can't pay it back, then pass it on. I can't say I'll ever be a rich man, and the things that I could call my own I can carry on my back. All the helping hands that reached out and found me have left me with a love that lasts through anything I might lack. And I'm thinking if I ever make it up that hill someday, you know I won't forget to leave a little bit of love along the way. Pass it on, sister, pass it on. If you can't pay it back, pass it on. And I'm thinking if I ever make it up that hill someday, you know I won't forget to leave a whole lot of love along the way. Pass it on, brother, pass it on. If you can't pay it back, if you can't pay it back to the person that gave you what you had in the beginning, if you can't pay it back, then by all means, you gotta pass it on. Pass it on.
Thank you, Harold. Wow. Pass it on. Let's take that message into meditation now as we take a breath and begin to settle into passing it on, passing on that love, passing on that light. So make yourself comfortable now and settle in for a time of relaxation, for a time of renewal, for a time to refresh, to reinvigorate, to come together, and to come apart. Breathing in and breathing out, we slowly begin to focus our attention on that breath. The breath in, the breath out, the breath in, the breath out. And as we begin to focus on that breath, the body begins to relax. Any tension in the body begins to drift away as we breathe in, as we breathe out. We breathe in, we breathe out, the belly drops, the shoulders drop. We begin to let go, breathing in, breathing out, and then preparing to take in a deep breath. We inhale deeply and hold it for just a moment. And then when we're ready, let it out and fully let the body relax. Let the body relax and settle in to beginning to allow your thoughts to settle down, to focus on the breath again, the breathing in, the breathing out. The thoughts slow down, the mind slows down. And as that begins, we settle into the divinity that we bring with us to this human experience. That knowing that we are divine beings, that we're spiritual beings in the midst of a human experience. And the calmness and the peace that that brings us. The knowing that we can settle into this divinity at any time during the human experience. That there is calm in the midst of this divinity. That that's where peace is, where love is, where guidance is. When we settle into a place of love, a place of peace, a place of guidance. Breathing in, breathing out. We open our hearts to that divinity. We open our hearts to communicating with the universe. We open our hearts to our divine masculine, our divine feminine. We settle into a silent time. We breathe in, we breathe out, and in the silence, we rest. We rest in the silence. Breathing in, breathing out. Relaxed, refreshed, renewed. My mind is open. My mind is clear. I know exactly what to do. Slowly beginning to wiggle the toes and fingers, moving the upper extremities and the lower extremities, moistening the lips with the tongue, and making our journey back to this now moment. We take a deep breath in and exhale, and the eyes come open, and we say, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Excuse me. And now we welcome back Harold Payne, who has to unmute one more time.
Okay. My apologies. I didn't know that there was a meditation song and the one before the talk. I would have done a mellower song for the meditation. That was supposed to be this slot here, so. but I'm happy to be here among the folks of Davis. I didn't have a song here, but my improv will save us. Glad to meet these beautiful people here. As our thoughts and worries from the meditation disappear. On this special Father's Day, it takes our breath away to think about the people who've influenced our lives, the father figures and the father figures in all of our lives. Led us where to go to do what was right. And as we gather here in celebration, God's incredible creations. Bless all the fathers and the divine masculine to take us where we're going and bring us from where we've been. And Reverend Richard will take us there. From somewhere to where we're supposed to be today. And as I tap into the energy of this beautiful community, in unity, we all celebrate the divine masculine. To where we're going, from where we've been. All I can say is I hope everyone gets to celebrate a wonderful Father's Day.
Harold Payne, the improvisational skills of Harold Payne. Thank you. I loved that. That was so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. And thanks for being with us. I hope you'll come back again. What fun. And improv some more too. That was great. I love improving. That's just so much fun. So I just want to do a little housekeeping here before I get started this morning. So, we changed the date for the game day in July, and it's actually been changed to July 29th. It's what it said on the slide, but it is July 29th, and you can sign up for it. And if you've signed up for it before and you can't make it on the 29th, just send an email into admin at Unity of Davis, and we'll take you off the list. Otherwise, we'll transfer you over. And the reason that we changed the date, just so that everybody knows, is that the board, most of the board and I are going to attend a workshop on that day, being held in Sacramento, and Shad Groverlin, the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministries, is putting it on. So it's an excellent opportunity for us to network with other churches in the area and to hear what Unity is doing in the midst of all the changes in people attending church and not attending church, and what church they're attending, and all those good things. So that's why we're changing the date. And then just quickly, I want to stop for a minute and say some deep appreciation. As you know, we're changing our software, our financial software, to QuickBooks, and then our communication software, just to be in touch with the church, to Breeze. I want to just stop and thank Bob McAvoy and Richard Fujinami and Mary Lindsay for the work they've been doing. And I know Bob McAvoy volunteered many, many hours to get us going in QuickBooks, and both Richard and Mary have been working awfully hard. So thank you. Thank you. It's deeply appreciated. Well, our Sunday talks over the past few weeks have been about loneliness, moving in and out of your comfort zone, And today we're going to talk about the divine masculine. Now, I don't know if you've caught it or not. I think a lot of you probably did, and I've mentioned it an awful lot, that there's an overall theme to these talks. And it's the overall theme for today's talk as well. It's staying in the middle. It's staying in the center. It's being comfortable in getting to know the middle road, to be in the midst of our birthright, to be in the center, to not be to this way or to not be that way, or to not have to be one way or the other, but to be comfortable finding the center. And so, again, I want to talk about that for a few minutes as we move into talking about our divine masculinity, because I can't talk about the divine masculine without talking about the divine feminine as well, because we bring them both. And our goal is to stay in the center with each of them, to stay in the center with using both of them to move through this human experience in the center, in a comfortable space, in a moving forward space. Yogis and meditation experts constantly emphasize the importance of staying the middle way in your daily life. But what exactly does that mean? To put it simply, staying in the middle way means you're focusing on the present moment. Let me say it again. You're focusing on the present moment. Staying in the present moment. Letting go of those stories, letting go of any influences from other people or television or anything. You're staying in the present moment. That our heads often get lost in the clouds, thinking about past regrets or worrying about what's to come in the future. You find the middle way when you're in tune to what's happening around you right now. Being in the middle way means staying calm, cool, and collected. You're in control of your emotions, especially during stressful situations. Let me say that again, especially during stressful situations. That didn't want to come out. Keep in mind, though, and I think this is very important, that being in the middle way doesn't mean you're happy all the time and that you never get upset. It's perfectly normal to feel a range of emotions, even the negative ones. What matters is how you respond to them. People who practice staying in the middle way keep negative emotions in check and handle upsetting circumstances more easily. Jack Kornfield, and you've all heard of Jack Kornfield, written many books, but he also wrote The Wise Heart. And he says this about the middle way and the wise heart. And of course, this middle way is all coming from the Buddhist tradition, and Jack Kornfield certainly comes from the Buddhist tradition. So he says the middle way describes the middle ground between attachment and aversion, between being and not being, non-being, between form and emptiness, between free will and determinism. The more we delve into the middle way, the more deeply we come to rest between the play of opposites. Let me say that once again. The more we delve into the middle way, the more deeply we come to rest between the play of opposites. Think about that. Aren't we in the midst of a play of opposites in this human experience? I want, I don't want, I have, I don't have, I come, I go, and yin, I yang. And so learning to rest in the middle way requires trust in life itself. It's like learning to swim. Kornfield writes this. He says he remembers first taking swimming lessons when he was 7 years old. He was a skinny, shivering boy, flailing around, trying to stay afloat in a cold pool. I think a lot of us remember that, don't we? Yep. But one morning, there came a magical moment lying on my back when I was held by the teacher and then released. I realized that the water would hold me, that I could float, and I began to trust. trusting in the middle way. There is an ease and grace, a cellular knowing that we too can float in the ever-changing ocean of life that has always held us. So, what's it mean really staying in the middle way? There are attempts to describe the joyful experience of moving out of time, out of gaining or losing, out of duality. They describe the ability to live in the reality of the present as one from there to here. The middle, it goes from there to here. The middle path describes the presence of eternity. In the reality of the present, life is clear. Life is vivid. Life is awake. Yet it's empty and yet filled with possibility. In the middle, life is everything. All possibility is there when we're in the middle. When we discover the middle path, we neither remove ourselves from the world nor get lost in it. We can be all our experience in its complexity with our own exact thoughts and feelings and drama. So what he's saying that when we're in the middle, we can be who we are and let go of the rest of life's drama. Let go of the rest of the stories and just be in the present moment and be in the middle and not want something that we don't have. We learn to embrace tension, to embrace paradox, to embrace change. Instead of seeking resolution, waiting for the chord at the end of a song, we let ourselves open and relax in the middle. In the middle, we discover that the world is workable. So when we practice being in the middle way, we use our divine feminine and masculine to maneuver through this human experience and to help us stay in the middle way. Divine masculine and feminine energy exist in all things, people included. So it does exist in all things, and we can use that divine masculine and feminine in all things. I was with Miss Puma, my cat this morning, the brown and orange one, the calico. And she and I can bring our divine feminine and masculine to each other. I can go and put my finger up to Miss Puma, and she can respond with her divine masculine. She can begin to gnaw on my finger a little bit and get a little rowdy with me. And I can choose. I can bring my divine masculine to her and get a little rowdy back and grab her and play with her and get her riled up a little bit. And she responds in the same way. Or I cannot respond with my divine masculine. I can respond with my divine feminine. I can bring a soft side to Miss Puma. Instead of getting a little rowdy, I can rub her where she likes to be rubbed, right there. And she goes, oh, he's bringing his divine feminine. I'll bring my divine feminine too. So everybody it's an energy. It's not to be confused with male versus female. It doesn't have anything to do with, and I'm going to describe the masculine and feminine, and I don't want any emails saying that I said the feminine was this and the masculine was that, because it's not about male and female. It's just about energy, and it just is. So, and both are accessed by all of us, and both are a part of the spiritual path to find a state of balance. So to start with, what are the key elements of masculine energy? The masculine energy is all about inner and outer power and strength, stability, self-confidence, willpower, taking action, problem solving, and making decisions fast. Using the left side of the brain, it is analytical, practical, logical, loves purpose and direction, and when used well, it can lead to real creativity. There's also a real sense of independence with the masculine side, which loves to feel important and acknowledged. Grudges are not held for long, as this interferes with the sense of freedom it requires. The divine masculine likes freedom. It brings freedom, doesn't hold on to grudges. Grudges will stop that freedom. It's holding it as us in bondage. Divine masculinity is marked by action. This energy represents leadership, taking charge and doing rather than being. Unlike feminine energy, which is meant to teach us to let things flow and come to us, to let things flow and come to us. Think, I don't chase, I attract. Vibes. Masculine energy teaches us to follow through, while feminine energy tells us to trust that our manifestations will arrive on time. Masculine energy encourages us to take the necessary steps to prepare for our blessings and take control of our lives at that moment. Do you see how important they both are? That masculine energy is saying, take action. Come on, let's go. Let's make a fast decision. No, I don't need to stop and ask for directions. I can find it on my own. Thank you very much. And our feminine energy is saying, should be saying, and when we let it in, saying, oh, now let's calm down. Let's just slow down a little bit. Things will come when they're supposed to come. We don't need to make a decision right now. Let's get all the facts. Let's take a breath for a moment and stop for a minute and let's ask directions, and then we'll get where we're going faster and enjoy ourselves. And so they're both very important. Divine masculinity is symbolized by air, thunder, and mountains. Most of the symbols for masculine energy come from religions throughout the world. They describe the divine masculine as representing fire and air, as well as natural phenomena like thunder, rain, and the mountains. Horned animals like rams and powerful birds like eagles are also described as having masculine energy. Astrology, we talk about masculine and feminine. The fire signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and the air signs of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini are thought to be more masculine. And the others are thought to be more feminine, the water, the earth, the waves, the moon, and the planet. We talk about Mother Earth and Father Sky, bringing them both together as one, the earth and the heavens together. It's talked about in the beginning of the creation story of Genesis. The firmament, the earth separated from the firmament, the heavens and the earth separated, the divine masculine and energy separated, and they came together. We came together as one. But there is a shadow side of the divine masculine energy. On the shadow side of masculine energy, if not balanced or aware, it can lead to anger, to resentment, to inner conflict, to dominance, and being emotionless and egotistical. The main reason, it's said, that we don't hear about the divine masculine much is there aren't many positive examples of the divine masculine in action. Since patriarchy took hold, we have mostly been bombarded with a toxic or shadow version of masculinity. It's true. Since patriarchy took hold, our attention is called to the shadow side of our divine masculine, because in that shadow side, because everything has a yin and a yang, in that shadow side, it's aggressive, controlling, domineering, power hungry, angry, and perverted. We have seen this in the witch hunts, war, genocide, rape, murder, greed, corruption, sexism, misogyny, racism, terrorism, and the hierarchy of our society today. We saw the heights of divine masculinity going on in Britain this week. We love the pomp and circumstances of it all, but a royal family sitting at the top of the hierarchy. That's that side of the masculine energy, that controlling, that dominating side. And we can see what's happening today. It's softening. The divine feminine is flowing in. Shannon Kilkenny wrote a book called The Self-Love Experiment. She says this: the divine masculine is very action-based, focused on doing rather than being, where the divine feminine represents universal motherhood. Kilkenny says the divine masculine is universal fatherhood energy. It's all about things like structure, like logic, like taking charge. She adds that the divine masculine energy is at play with things like assertiveness, confidence, speaking up for yourself, and sometimes fighting the good fight. Where divine feminine energy can be more passive and willing to compromise. Kilkenny notes that sometimes there are things in the world we do need to fight for, and situations where we need to draw a line in the sand about what's right or wrong. The masculine, that divine masculine energy, is good at setting boundaries in this way. So we bring the divine masculine and the divine feminine to all situations. We can draw a line in the sand by doing it nicely and by explaining it, but yet setting firm ground that this is our boundary and we're going to stay to it. And so we've got the divine feminine and the masculine coming together to help us navigate this human experience. Where divine feminine energy can be very internal and reflective, divine masculine energy relishes in doing things out in the real world, like having adventures, making change, saying what's on your mind, taking risks. It's also an energy that's often associated with things like logic and critical thinking. So what's the difference between them? Again, everyone has access to both the masculine and feminine energy, regardless of sex or gender. The divine masculine and divine feminine can be thought of like yin and yang. They're both necessary for balance, but they are different. Too much feminine energy can lead to indecisiveness and not enough action. And too much masculine energy can lead to a domineering nature and even war. The objective is to strive for your own balance of the two. Take the example of a leader, for example. Leadership may be thought of as more divine masculine quality, but how can one be a leader in a way that honors the feminine, considering compassion and the needs of others as a primary function of leadership? So we bring them together into leadership. And next week, when we talk about servant leadership, they're talking about to lead is to serve. We talk about how we bring that divine masculine and feminine into leadership and bring it out into our community. It's important to note that this balance won't look exactly the same for everyone. Some people that have more of the divine feminine or the divine masculine may find that works really well for them. It's not about making everyone the same. It's about finding the balance for you. Not someone else's balance, but your balance. So how do we do it? How do we balance that masculine, feminine energy? Feminine energy teaches us to feel deeply and lean into our divine connection to something greater. Masculine energy, on the other hand, teaches us to think critically and understand that we're still human with earthly needs. In order to achieve balance, we need to recognize the importance of both energies and put that recognition into practice. So just recognizing them and then putting that recognition into practice will get you started on that balance. Want to fall in love? I know most of you are in love, but if you're not, do you want to fall in love? Confidently share your desires with sacred masculine energy guiding your voice. But use the wisdom of your feminine energy to decipher who deserves your heart, What good advice. Don't be fooled. Bring both into play. Take your time, relax, practice. Sometimes we have to call in as much feminine energy as we can muster, and other times masculine energy will take center stage. Achieving perfect harmony may never be possible, but striving towards a harmonious spirit will keep you on the right path to better yourself and our world. So I invite you to think about your divine masculine and your divine feminine, to come into realization that they're both essential in maneuvering through this human experience, and then to honor them both, to bring them with you, to let them out, to let us see them, to share both the divine feminine and the divine masculine with us. But most of all, have a great Father's Day. Maneuver your way successfully through this human experience. And I look forward to being with you again next week. Thank you.